Yeah, you were mentioning that.
What?
Yeah, go ahead, Shutanshu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we were discussing about why you didn't go to some better college in the other state.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was in hostel since class 6 only, so I wanted to spend some time at home and be with my family. That's why I wanted to choose a college nearby to my home.
Okay. Okay. That gives me a fair idea about your family. Now, I would be interested in knowing about your hobbies, leisure time activities. What do you like to watch on television? If you have facility to access internet, how do you make use of it? I would also be interested in knowing about your routine on a working day and holiday.
Yes, sir. Sir, so my hobbies are cycling, and I like to go to cycling whenever I get time in the morning, or other than that. And other than that, I like to watch cricket on television. Other than that, for entertainment or for other than that, I watch the Kapil Sharma show. And and sir, what else did you ask?
Your leisure time activities, spare time interests, etc. What do you like to watch on television? If you have facility to access internet, how do you make use of it? Talk about your routine on a working day and a holiday.
Yes, sir. So, sir, in on a working day, it's mostly college only. So I get up by 7 or 7:30. Then I get ready for college and have my breakfast and leave for the class. Uh, I have my class at 9:50. I have my class at 9:15. So from there I return. The classes end by 4 or 4:15. So then I return home by 5 or 5:30. Then I come back and relax a bit. I use my phone or internet. I use the internet, and after that I have my dinner. Then I go to the store for some time, and we close at 10 p.m. So after closing, I come back by 10 or 10:15 or so. Then I talk with my family, or we all stay in the hall for some time. Then around 11 or 11:30, I go to sleep. And on a holiday, sir, I get up by 6:30 or 6:45, and I go to the store at 7, and I come back by 10 or 10:30. Then I have my breakfast, and after that I use some internet or these things, and then I read newspapers as well. Then I have my lunch. After that, we, uh, after lunch I stay here, and then I go to play football during the evening. And after that, when I come back, I take bath and all and get ready, and then have my dinner and again go to the store, and again I come back by 10 or 10:15. So that's all. And then during my internet, sir, I like to explore what the I use Instagram. Other than that, I also like to explore. I am currently exploring the colleges for masters that I am going to pursue in psychology. So that's what I do currently.
Okay. Tell me something about your strength and certain aspects of your personality that you feel you need to improve upon.
So firstly, I would want to improve my physical fitness. I will need to work much more on that. Other than that, I also need to improve the way I utilize my free time. I want to get more involved in the habit of reading, and that's it. Other than that, sir, I think uh, yes, sir, that's it.
What are your strong points?
Yes, a strong point should be determination. Like if I have decided that I want to achieve something, then I really work hard for it. If I have a set goal, I give my 100% to achieve it. Other than that, I have a lot of patience, and I try to take decisions with a lot of patience. And after taking mostly all the aspects that I can take in consideration, and I think that in a team environment, I can be a really good team builder, or I can really cooperate really well.
Okay. So tell me, like, you said you take a lot of time and with patience you decide. Can you give one example or some decision that has benefited your father?
That has benefited my father.
Hmm. Business.
Yes, sir. Sir, like the third outlet that we have opened. So my father, we had opened another outlet, but unfortunately that didn't work out that well. So we had to close it. So that time also I had advised my father that it's a small space, or it may not work out. But I couldn't convey it that firmly, because obviously he was much senior in business, and I just advised him. So that was one thing. Then after this third outlet, that's the most recent outlet. He then I have advised him and that we should go for it or not.
Okay. So what was the basis of your decision? Why do you
Yes.
feel that a small place was not good for business?
Yes, sir. Our previous two outlets were considerably big in terms of the third outlet, and other than that, it was also not surrounded by that much population. So my father had been anticipating that the population would come in 2 to 5 years, but I had anticipated that it would come, but to sustain till then would be really difficult, because it wasn't that much crowded that we need for departmental stores to be there. And the third outlet that we have recently opened, it is just under a new complex, and it's a high end complex, so it's running quite well, touchwood.
Well, I've asked you a lot of questions. If you have anything to ask me, you feel free to ask now. Well, it was lovely interacting with you, Shutanshu. All the best.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Sir, I'm over.
Yeah. Yeah, Mank, your input first.
Uh,
Mank.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. According to me, he have to gain some knowledge about the organization, army organization. I think he
That
have
is
to
service
improve.
knowledge. That you're talking service
And
knowledge. Yes. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And
Next.
and overall, sir, I think he have to improve some uh, international relation and some
That's
international
current.
aspects.
That's current affair. Okay.
Current affairs. Current affairs.
Okay.
Sir.
Next.
That's it, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Current affair. Okay.
Personality, man. Personality के बारे में?
Sir, personality. A few time he forget about the sequence of questions, sir. And overall, sir, personality according to me, sir, he did well, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry. Right, Shutanshu, I think let me just bring up my view before I think good Cecil will supplement it. First and foremost, you being from the Kolkata, you should have been in a better position to explain the very first question. Your first question that he asked, tell me about the culture and aspects of the Calcutta. You literally, let me just say very frankly, you mucked it up. You simply talked about, yes, they are very culture savvy, very nice. That's the end of it. It's one of those, they say it's a city of joy. You should have started the city. Why it is city of joy? Here, poor as well as rich can both kind of coexist. You got all the facilities, even you can get a meal at 5 rupees also, you can get a meal at other also. So what is the culture? How the culture goes about it? What is so special? There are two communities, Tamilians and Bengalis, are two people who stick to the culture. Mind you, they are the strongest people. They have been in a position to sustain the culture. And you should have been talked about you simply talked about it. You said they are rooted to culture. That is very nice. That was very first I thought you would go there. And then for you, second was only they follow rituals and they love visiting outside. That's one thing you should talk about it. When he talked further, when he went around that, then you did talk about they are very satisfied with whatever money they earn. They are very good. They know. Mind you, out of they may not be from India. Nobel laureates have been produced by Bengal. How many Nobel laureates? You talk of the culture of Santiniketan to everything around there. Where does it come from? Even if you take an hour that will fall short of talking about Calcutta. And you being from
Science. All
science,
IIT, first science institute in the country, Jagdish Chandra Bose.
Calcutta, the scientists, I say in this, scientists and this Bose, AC Bose, and so many people are there. You can't afford it.
Yes.
They're supposed to be the most intelligent people as such. Let me just tell you, very irrespective of whatever they got. And they have given many, no, one of the best of the scholars, including the president and what they say, all the anything which happens, even the Marxists, they had the root from Calcutta.
Yes.
They're the Marx movement. They're the politicians. They're the people who would like to discuss, they would like to get involved in this. So you have not. You should please learn about Calcutta and talk. You should be talking from that. You're just disinterested. Probably you're not very happy living in your own system. You're not really interested in talking about the culture of the people which you are living with. That is very something it comes to. That is very. Now, secondly, as you rightly put across, you did miss out there. You started well. But you mixed up the question. His question very simply. Expectations are there that when I ask a question, the CIQ, the first CIQ, he asked you from the education, then percentage, then subjects, then future career. Probably expectations are there. You will take one by one into the same sequence you go by. You try to mix up. You started from say culture, then class 7th or 8th, then you came back, I played these games. Then he came back. So you're just jumping. You're just mixing up the system. You should be able to take 1 point, as I said, and finish it up. And you should go expected. You may not. It's difficult to, because 10 odd questions which are inherent in that 1 CIQ. It may be difficult. Probably you will forget. Okay. Normally, though he has asked you, you have forgotten 2 because that interview will not tell you, and he should not tell you. He will only come back to the question after 5 to 10 minutes. He will not tell me more question. No. He will wait for it and he'll come back till such time he gets the answer to those questions. He'll keep repeating every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and every may even the end of it. And he will not leave it till such time you answer his questions. Okay. So the first time that, but you never talked why. Future career options, you talked about it. You should have planned it. That's very nicely you did talk about, yes, I did. I wanted to join services, and yet I didn't pass the fair enough. But that's the aim is I want to continue. And then when you choice of psychology, you have got any number of reasons. You did try to give some reasons for it. They were relevant, but you could have given better reasons. Why? Because psychology still is supposed a taboo in our country. And today, about 80%, 90% requires psychological intervention. Why do they require? How can, so there's a lack of it. I personally feel, so that you could have gone so many, you could have given a lot of statistics, no? He also asked, why not? I find you did take, why not psychiatrist? Why psychology? You rightly put, because I have not lost interest in probably biology, and that was not difficult. That's you put an end to that. But you should have gone into the system. Secondly, now you jump. Your answer was very crisp, and you said anxiety. Avoid. You said no. You jump from then. Bengali culture you talked about is service. You cannot afford your atrocious. What is atrocious? We start in service, rank should be lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, then brigadier, then major general. And you can't talk lieutenant colonel, brigadier, and general. You can't afford to do that. Even the service chief, Manoj Pandey, and you can't afford. If you are going for a service, and if you have not explored about the service, do you think anyone will take it? Even if someone comes to your own store for employment, and until he knows something about your store, why does he want to? Would you ever select him? You will not. So similarly, if you do not know what the service on there, do you think he will never select you on there? Future options. Then he talk about science basic structure, basic question, that is a centripetal force, centrifugal force. Probably you may have forgotten. It's accepted. And centripetal goes inside and centrifugal goes outside. That's the one is simple, and that's how the banking goes. And they want to neutralize that. That is banking. So you should. They are the basic, because your science is student and one expects that you will know these questions and literally give up. Fair enough. If you do not know, you're right. You must come back. I do not know. But they are all basic questions which you should really know as any individual. You should. Okay. Then you talked about, you did talk about friend circle in your school. Is school very nice? And you were talked about the teacher who was calm, composed and all. But still, that part which you came back with the teacher in class 7th who probably he didn't take you, you had logic for it. And rightly put, because he left it on the I couldn't afford to correct it, you can do little about it. So, but you could have handled that question probably a bit better. Okay. Then again, you did go back to psychology. Then character. He talked about you did talk about, yes, you were impressed by army, and you don't tell me you won't have met one army man in the whole of your career. You would have met someone, maybe here, there. Even the BITS Pilani itself has got a lot. They have got a lot many people. That school calls a lot many people on. They would have had some visitors. There are so many people out there. BITS Pilani is one of the old and reputed school. I say is one of those. You are fortunate to have been part of that school. So that
Yes.
So then even that he talks about Bernoulli's principle is a simple question of pressure, velocity, and height. I think there's a combination of these two. That is the all three basic equations that have been talked about. You may have forgotten, but one expects that you would be in a position to answer these questions. Then even you did talk about there's other psychology courses are not being run in Calcutta. No, it's wrong, because Calcutta University is supposed to be one of the best courses are being run in Calcutta University by say. And you got other Admas also runs it and all. So that is so you cannot. Unfortunately, what is happening? Anything which you say, no. He is the person who has got, at least he may have, and probably he may be talking to you. And by the time he got a damn computer available and would have really Google Master Jaga, pucha kya bata kiska hai, and he's talking to you. You may not know what he is.
I have interviewed for a lady candidate, sir, who was from Vishwa Bharati, Calcutta, doing psychology.
Biswarthi campus, they have got it here. The Biswarthi only campus, they have got it here. West Biswarthi is supposed to be there, far off from there. He had a logic. He could have simply said, I being from outside, my father is, I'm the only son of my father. He's setting a business. Probably I wanted to locate near Calcutta. That's a simple answer. Why do you want to go beyond that? It's a simple, it's a logical question. Sir. Logically, it comes from that, and I don't want to go back. I have remained enough outside, and this is a time since this business is expanding, and there's a need for me to be attending to them also. And then he requires some helping hand. And when I come back, I do try and help. So that's a necessity for me to go. And second, why Ameity? It is next to the in the Rajarhat itself, and so it is going to be very nearer to me. Very nice. So that's the end of it. Why do you want to go beyond that? That's how to go about it. Okay. Then you did talk about your family help and assistance. You handle that question well, but problem comes up your neighborhood participation. You may be staying anywhere. You may not. You may be coming only once in a month or once in 6 months. But whether you like it, there is someone in front of you, someone behind you, someone nearby, and you can't say that I don't have many friends and one friend who has only gone back to Abraham. Your involvement, he is trying to, how are you involved in that? And that involvement will come back once you bring out. And that involvement can be in maybe the Durga Puja contribute some really humble might into other cultural activity. They may be in society that you are available, which you are doing it. Not that you are not doing, you must be doing it. Once your father is business, at least you would have been contributing towards Durga Puja. Yes or no? Tell me. आपको पैसा देना पड़ेगा, नहीं जाओगे तभी जबरदस्ती तुमसे लेगा यार. You can't say that you are not involved. You are involved in it, and जाकर करते हो. You are going to various places. You are contributing. Why don't you come back? So that's he has not even, mind you. Let me just tell you first. You have got proliferation of goodness. There is nothing wrong with you. You have just have to extend yourself. You are a good person. Nothing major negative into you. But it has to be you have to knowledge. You have to, as he used the word explore, you have to open to experience. And experience you are not taking. It is not only your own store that is going to be important, or the college going to be important. Either in and around the system, until so keep your eyes and ears open, you cannot afford to do that. Okay, so overall, you can walk across with a humble person, good man. Because look at it. First, effective intelligence, what? You have intent to find a solution. You did come out with very nicely. You did have with logical that you helped your father to tell you this. So you've got the logic. Logic is intact. So what interviewing also will start only if it is very clear about your reasoning ability, which you did talk about. You gave only 7, but you could have given many more examples for it. You have to latch down to such idea which you are good at it. That's your strength, isn't it? Second is solving the problem, which you can afford to do it around that. You have solved problem. What are the problems which you got involved that you can do it? Reasoning ability, organizing ability. Once you're going to store, meeting the people, what are doing, so that's the involvement. While going to the store and coming back, that is not done simply sitting on. That is not the collective money. That's not the solution. What improvement you get? What are those particular changes that you should be able to bring it out? Then, secondly, as far as the social part is concerned, that gets missed out. Yes, you've got to go social at a play. How do you come back cooperation sensibly? Cooperation does not come back to only family business. How does cooperation come to others? How people are involved? Sense of responsibility doesn't belong only to me and to my parents. It belongs to everyone. How do you show it? Because you're none of it comes back. TT is a single game, individual game, isn't it? So it indicates. And then you have gone for 200 kilometers, 200 miles cycling and all. You didn't even talk about it. So that's a very nice thing. You have gone for a 200 miles cycling. It's okay, fair enough. That's at your school and they said this is a credit goes to you. Go into the system. And you see that the PIQ that you have made, you have to make much more interesting so that he lets you into certain questions which are available. Okay. So they are all broadly, I just try to give it to you around there. You have got proliferation of goodness. You are a good person who thinks logically and seem to be honest in your saying, but that honesty simply doesn't go. It has to, if you have to score mark, you have to write, isn't it? And unless you speak properly, you will not get the credit. Okay. Now it's also said, it's all yours.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Shutanshu, few things like, a military officer is a leader. And what is the leader? The one who leads. Okay?
Yes.
So, goodness alone will not suffice a good military leader. You are supposed to be impressing others. Like you got impressed. So,
Yes, sir.
if you analyze yourself, you tell me, was your interview very impressive?
No, sir.
I'm talking to somebody who's been participating in debate. So what is my expectation? What is the standard of my expectation?
Sir, it should be high.
Isn't it? So I have a person who is a debater. So he knows the key essence. He's able to capture the essence of the topic or the point and is able to bring out or express himself in a very logical, crisp way that impresses others. Getting my point? So that is what you really caught on to it is that yes, military leaders are very impressive. They may look very ugly like me or an old person like me, but I can still manage to impress you. So that's a quality. So here I was talking to somebody when I saw your PIQ, I said, oh, great, yeah, I have got a guy who is a debater. So it will be very nice, taking his interview because he'll be able to be giving me good, crisp, great answers. So there were some things I also felt that as the interview progressed, I found that mental stamina, giving up. It was not happening by chance. If you look at the trend, you always caught on to the end part of the CIQ, and then you cover the distance to capturing back. मतलब अगर 4 सेंटेंस मैं बोला हूं तो तुम 4th से start कर रहे थे and you were reverting back in reverse order.
I'll just add to that. How many questions you say I do not know? Just tell me.
Yeah.
Simple answer to this. What he is trying to get. How many questions? You said I do not know. What does that mean? You are trying to give up. It means what? You are given up. The same mental stamina goes down. Mental stamina goes down. You want to get away. Remain a fighter. Yeah?
Yes.
Think about it. Now, since we have got with your knowledge, the system, with the exposure that you have got, you would be able to add few points anyway. But don't put in wrong points. That's the only thing. Any wrong point with some of the character that you put together, that goes against you. Be honest. Pull out certain experience with there. You may not get all the, because you don't know what question is going to come and where is he going to. He may ask anything today. He is asking but knowledge. To me, he will ask something else. So that is up to him to decide. But take from your experience what is right, and try and pull out from that baggage of knowledge, back knowledge that you got, and put it there. Okay, sorry.
No, not at all, sir. In fact, you were very right. What our aim here is that you improve the personality. That's what we are endeavoring about, not as a criticism. Second aspect, which is very important, is that, as sir brought out, there was a lot of, you wanted to speak something, you jumped to something, and then you came back. So, that clarity of thought and understanding of the logic of question and responding, there was a gap. Number
Like
3,
attention, that the attention, until you remember, the reasoning ability starts for grasp, G for grasp, R for receptivity, L for logic. Until the receptivity is there proper, now you must understand it's an interview, it's a formal thing. If it's a formal thing, you ought to be formal to that extent. Though he puts your ears, but that's one aspect of it.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And see that responsibility को थोड़ा सा आपको और ज़्यादा लेना पड़ेगा. One, you are going for a graduate entry. So we are now dealing with person who is a graduate. तो अब वो काफी बड़ा है. He's an adult. So our expectation from him on all these aspects, whatever you shared till now, has to be much more.
No, but your expectation goes up because you are from one of the Birla Public School. But the word itself, when it goes around there, the expectation that I am meeting a person who is going to be different. When a person comes from village school, I would expect what he thinks. That's all. But when I start the interview, he's well prepared for interview, looking at the PIQ, he starts thinking slightly at a different level. And your question will be slightly much more. He has not told you, but he would be in a position to go in a higher level. That's the reason. Every interview is planned based upon the PIQ. Every interview. And that's the reason we send the PIQ in advance, so that he plans where to start, how to go about it. He cannot afford to have the same logic every time with all the interviews. Though it looks very mundane that he is asking the same CIQ, but this CIQ itself gets mixed up from there. He will take some part from there, mix up the second one, mix up the third one, and that, as a matter of fact, he has not gone the complete CIQ, but say, he left in between. Hobbies, interests, and all, that has been left over.
No, I asked him, there was, other than cycling and watching television, TV, cricket, this is another aspect. Now, as a graduate and you are taking up responsibility of family, there has to be some kind of, we want to see more on these fronts. We have to see how more you are able to manage your life and also able to support the family. No longer being a school kid.
Okay. Any question from your side? Any question from Shutanshu? Any question from your side?
No, sir.
Huh? Dekho, you are a good person, remain good. But remaining being a human, good human, doesn't help only. Sadhu nahi banna, you have to be, we expect you to be, I say assertive, not aggressive. You have to be putting yourself in the world, and you have to move ahead. You have to move ahead. At that time, you being from the business family, I do expect that you would have gone through this exposure in any case.
Yes, right? You're right. You might be exposed to risk, financial risk. Businessman takes financial risk. You are exposed to risk. You are supposed to
fight it out irrespective of what happens around there. You are supposed to getting into it, no? As you write it, because the father went, because that is the time pandemic and all the situation came in, naturally things went down. And you right, how did now the problem is, though you say he did not tell me that you should have known about it, what is the reason? What you say, you they simply asking that there was a reason, I do not know. That's not the answer, correct answer. Yes, there was a problem. When after that came back, this was the reason. And this is how it got resolved and solved. Not posing that you have to be involved in a family, whether you like it or don't like it, is your involvement, your family, your people. And very coolly, you talked about grandfather, and he says he is practicing the lawyer. He didn't talk anything beyond that. It's an involvement with the other. It's not only father, mother, and your sister which is involved. There are others in the family, grandfather, there may be uncle, there may be super uncle. There may be so many people are there in the family. When you talk about the family, then you have to try. It is up to you to decide what you want to express.
Well, as a psychologist, you will understand that these questions are also psychometric. I am getting to know more about your adaptability, social adaptability with others.
Okay. Any question from your side?
No, sir.
Then you are free to ask anything that you have.
No, sir, not currently. I'll ask you.
Okay. Man, any question?
Surprise,
How can I remember CIQ, sir? It is very tough, sir.
You have to pay attention. You have to, it's attention. Receptivity, you have to pay attention and you will get into it. That's simple.
It is not.
It
is made such a way that a person whose receptivity is adequate will answer.
Until you pay attention to it, if I'm thinking somewhere, man, to be at with the interview around there, rather than concentrating on what you are speaking around there, I consider something what is happening my left and right. Probably I had it. I won't be able to do that. My own granddaughter is sitting with me next to me. She's trying to distract me, but I'm not getting distracted in any case. I will not get distracted. Okay.
Sir, it is a mandatory to follow the sequence of CIQ.
It is not expected are there. We have already talked about you must answer to the extent possible in the same sequence that is given. That is there, not mandatory. It is expected.
Yes, sir.
आदि मैं आपसे 3 सवाल पूछता हूँ तो पार्ट A, B, C आप एक पूछोगे फिर Z में जाओगे कि A के B में जाओगे बताओ मेरे को. If I ask you 10 questions, एक क्वेश्चन का 4 पार्ट है तो आप क्या करोगे? What will you do?
So I will start from the first.
So you say even if you have to introduce yourself, how you will start? My name is this. I belong to this place. I go. So all these questions are made in that way. It follows a particular sequence.
एक simple example देता हूँ मैं. What is Newton's third law and how is it used in life? अब आपको मैंने 2 क्वेश्चन पूछ लिए. How will you answer this?
First of all, I will introduce about the law.
Yes,
then उसका करोगे.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not like that. आप look at the sequence.
Yes,
he is asking. Tell me from class. Look, what is the question? Tell me from class 8th onward. What was your percentage? Number 1. What was subject chosen? What was subject chosen? Who were probably the teachers you liked it? Teachers you didn't like it? Does it follow a sequence or not? Then he talk on course activities that he get involved. And if you ask, I'm class 7th, I played football, and then also my teacher was good. So what you are trying to club up each question into a different way. You are packaging it, repacketing it.
See, my question was very clear. If tell me about your education starting from 8 onward and working up to your present level of education, I would be interested in knowing about the percentage scored in class 10, class 12. What were the subjects chosen after class 10 for further studies and also about your future career option? Now, यहाँ पे full stop हुआ है. तो percentage, subjects chosen, future career option, ये सब यहाँ cover होगा.
Okay, we have any other question? Anyone?
No, sir. No,
okay.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. We must thank Captain Sri for everything that he has done. I'm grateful to you. I think it's let's hope. Best of luck. Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Good.
You can interact with